What's up everybody and welcome back to another video. I'm Corey with Freaky Tall Reviews, and today we're going to be doing something a little bit different because today we're covering 8 lifestyle tips for tall people. I'm 6'10" and 350 pounds, so I always try to think of things in the big and tall perspective, and today I'm going to share some things with you that I try to focus on that make my life a little bit easier as a big and tall person. First up is working on your posture. Taller people are more prone to develop bad posture, which can lead to pain and discomfort. You can help your posture by focusing on relaxing your shoulders, sitting up, and keeping your chin up. But one of the reasons that I focus on this is that when I work, I tend to slouch, which absolutely kills my back. Also, having a good office chair is key, and I also like to have my monitors at a correct height so I'm not having to look down at them. Personally, I use the Secret Lab Titan XL 2020 edition. I have reviewed this chair in the past. I sit in this thing at least 8 hours a day, and I found that it's pretty comfortable. There's probably better options out there that I want to explore. I just haven't come across any yet that are great for a bigger and taller person. Ergonomics are very important as a taller person because this world is not built for us. So focusing on your comfort every day is extremely important. I also came across a blog that I linked in the description below that are 4 tips to improve your posture as a tall person. If you like what those tips have to say, be sure to leave a comment below and let me know what you think. For number 2 on the list, I kind of touched on it on the end of point 1, but prioritize your comfort. Whether you're sitting at a desk or standing for long periods of time, make sure that you are as comfortable as possible. You might invest in clothing that's bigger or potentially ergonomic furniture. I have a couple of stand-up desks that I find that are great for me. Some you can actually set on your desk, and some are electric where you just press a button and it raises for you. I think either way, it's great to stand while you work sometimes. One thing I've also done to increase my daily comfort is add high weight capacity caster wheels to my office chairs. I found these little rubber wheels on Amazon. They're 3 inches, and usually on most office chairs, they're gonna add an inch of height, which I find is really nice. And they're high weight capacity, so they're gonna last a long time, and it's just easier to roll around everywhere. In the kitchen is another area that I like to have comfort. I use this raised cutting board that I review so I don't have to bend over a little bit when I'm at the counter. I think appropriate fitting clothing is a no-brainer if you're a bigger and taller person. It's difficult to find, but I've come across some really great brands. I specifically look for clothing where, like with shirts, if I raise my arms, it doesn't expose my stomach. Or if I reach to shake someone's hand, it doesn't pull the sleeve back on my arm. And I've covered a lot of brands that I think very highly of: American Tall, ONEBONE, King Size. There's a good amount of them out there. I also take at least 1 shower a day, and for 20 bucks, you can add a shower extension that increases the height of your shower by like a foot. This is a must if you're a tall person. It's just one of those creature comforts that adds to your everyday living. Also, as a taller person, you have automatic shotgun if you're riding with friends. For those of you that don't know what shotgun is, if you call it first, that means you get to sit in the front seat and everyone else has to sit in the back seat. As a tall person, you automatically have that veto, so use it to your advantage, because the alternative is being stuck in the back seat and super uncomfortable. So just let everyone know, hey, I don't have to call it shotgun. I'm super tall. The point is that there's many areas of life where you have the opportunity to be more comfortable. You just got to look for them. I found that life's too short to be tall and uncomfortable. For number 3, invest in good and comfortable shoes. Finding shoes as a tall person can be really tough. I myself wear between a size 17 to 18 depending on the brand. So normally your selection's pretty limited, and I come from a time where you just kind of have to get what you can. Nowadays, there's some really solid websites that offer options. Zappos.com, 2 Big Feet, Big Shoes, Oddball, and I occasionally find some options on Amazon as well. For socks, I came across a website called tallorder.com, and I got a pair of their ankle socks, which are great because they fit size 16 to 20. These socks are super comfortable. They don't stretch when I put them on, and I do plan to bring them to the channel pretty soon, so be sure to subscribe so that you see when that video comes out later this year. Also, one thing I'm looking into, and I don't have any recommendations yet, but is a good insole for bigger feet. Some of the websites that I just shared offer insole options. I've never had insoles for feet my size, but it is something that I'd like to bring to the channel, so if you have any recommendations, be sure to leave a comment and let me know what you like. For number 4, this is a big one: stay active. Regular exercise helps alleviate pain and discomfort that just come with being tall. I think workouts like yoga are great because they help improve your flexibility and mobility. For my football playing days, I have all kinds of joint pain issues and a lot of pain in my lower back. I recently got back into the gym and started lifting weights, and I found that once I knocked the rust off my joints, they started feeling a lot better because that muscle starts supporting your joints, and overall it just kind of helps take some of the pain off your body. In addition to that, I would say look for workout routines that complement a taller body with longer limbs. I did a very quick search and I immediately found a great beginner's workout that's great for tall people. The workout that I found doesn't restrict you to using machines that are too small or doing exercise lifts that are difficult with longer limbs. It uses mainly body weight and free weight so that you aren't restricted during workouts. And I did put the link to that workout in the description. One thing I found a lot of value in and I purchased myself was a muscle stimulator with a TENS unit. I bought a Compex brand one that was really highly rated a couple years ago that I really found a lot of value with, but there are a lot of good options online that you can read reviews and choose from. And if you really want to invest in feeling better, then check out a cold therapy ice machine. These are super affordable nowadays, and they used to be hundreds and hundreds of dollars. And basically what it is it's a cooler that you put ice water into, and it has a pump that pumps ice cold water through these tubes that connect to this device that wraps around most of the joints of your body. It can go around knees or ankles or shoulders, and that water is forced through that pad and comes back into the cooler so that it's constantly circulating freezing cold water. This is great because you're not having to deal with ice bags and the bags sweating and condensation getting everywhere. And it's a really compact little unit that you can literally just sit on the couch and have it pump ice cold water to your joints. I do plan on getting one pretty soon, and I'd love to bring it to this channel, so let me know in the comments if this is something that you would like to see on the channel. Now for number 5, I cannot stress this enough, but choose the right bed for you. Sleeping on a bed that's too short can cause discomfort and back pain.
Look at this. See? He fits perfectly.
You want to look for beds that are longer and wider that accommodate your size. This is much easier said than done, but for me personally, as a reference, I use a Tempur-Pedic Luxe Breeze that I bought maybe 6 or 7 years ago, and it's California king size. If you're unfamiliar with what California king is, it's 4 inches narrower than a standard king mattress, but 4 inches longer, bringing the total length of the mattress to 84 inches. Being 82 inches tall, or 6'10", it's still not quite long enough for me, but it's absolutely better than anything else you're gonna get. The easiest way to find out what mattress works for you is to go to a local mattress store and talk with a specialist there to test out a couple different models to see what's gonna work best for you. Now I will say that just because you spend a ton of money doesn't mean you're gonna get the perfect mattress for you. However, if you get 8 hours of sleep a night, that means you're spending a third of your life on that mattress. And in the other 16 hours, the energy you get during that window is dictated from the rest that you get. That means that it's a really wise investment to put money towards a good mattress. Also, one thing that I personally do, I never used to wear socks when I sleep. I used to hate that, but I learned recently that because our bodies are so long, our heart has to stay slightly activated to get blood down to our toes to keep them warm. So I started wearing socks to bed to see if my body would enter a more restful state. And I found out that yeah, it actually makes me get better rest because it's not having to keep blood flowing to my feet to keep them warm. Definitely something I recommend looking into, but I found that it helped me. Also, if you're a big and tall person and you're habitually tired, whether you snore or not, you might want to get checked out for sleep apnea. I don't snore at all, but I found that because I'm a big person with a heavy chest, I just don't breathe very well when I sleep, and a CPAP machine changed my life. Some sleep studies these days are so easy that they literally tape this little pill-sized thing to your finger. You sleep with it for 3 nights, and it sends all the data back to your doctor that they need to determine if you have sleep apnea. There is literally no reason not to get checked out because this could literally save your life. For number 6, watch your diet. Tall people typically need more calories than a shorter person, but what's important is that you maintain those calories with healthy doses of fruits and vegetables, as well as staying hydrated throughout the day. Now this is pretty generic advice, and I struggle to follow it myself, and I would love to be around 300 pounds one day, but I will say big dogs don't live as long as small dogs. So think about that thought the next time you crack open a soda or put that donut in your mouth. And when it comes to being bigger, you should be aware of your BMR, which stands for basal metabolic rate. The BMR estimates how many calories you burn in a resting neutral temperature state. Basically, how many calories do you need as a person just to be you every day and function? As an example, my BMR is 2,729 calories per day. That's how many calories I would need to eat just to maintain my body weight right now and stay the way that I am. If you compare this to the average American male, who's about 5'9" and 197 pounds, you'll find that they need about 1,800 calories per day to maintain their weight. You need to know this number if you're gonna create a caloric deficit each day. So down in the description, you will see a link for a BMR calculator, so it can help you determine how many calories per day you would need to eat if you wanted to lose weight. Outside of just calories, I found that a low carb diet tends to work really well with me. I'm not on one right now, that's why I'm so heavy, but I know that if I want to effectively lose weight, reducing my carb intake personally works for me. You might meet with a nutritionist or try a couple different diets just to see which one is easiest for you to stick with, but at the end of the day, eating less calories than you burn is one of the easier ways to consistently lose weight. Also, one more thing on this subject, as a big and tall person with consistent joint pain, I would recommend researching what foods cause inflammation in the body. Eliminating those from your diet can really help with those aches and pains. Looking at you, cheese. For number 7, be mindful of your environment when you're traveling and visiting new places. Paying attention to low doorways or low-hanging objects and choosing accommodations that best fit your tall needs are extremely important for us. I gotta say, if you're not already ducking through every doorway that that you go through automatically, even if it's 12 foot tall, then you need to get hit in the head a couple more times to really get that thought to sink in. But in all seriousness, anytime I travel, I always do as much research as I can to see how comfortable or oftentimes uncomfortable I'm going to be during transit. I literally recently changed airlines because I used to fly Southwest all the time, where it's just a free-for-all for whatever seat you can get and you might get exit row seating, to now I prefer to fly Delta because most of the time I can literally choose an exit row seat and I know that I'll have plenty of leg room. And because it's not a free-for-all, I found a fun tip that you can go up to the front desk agents and say, hey, it's hard for me to maneuver on the plane as a bigger and taller person. Is it okay if I go ahead and board early so that I can get situated? And I found that 90% of the time, they let you go ahead and do that so you can already be seated and comfortable while the rest of the people try to get on the plane. I found that travel pillows help a lot as well because most airline seats don't come up high enough on my back, so I have nothing to rest my neck against, so travel pillows are great for that. And I also recommend checking out some slip-on shoes and TSA Friendly belts so that it's easier to get through security. My shoes alone take up an entire security bin, so being able to get them on and off easily is an absolute must because you don't want to be that really big person that's holding up the entire security line because of your plus size garments. So for this reason, I always wear Vans slip-ons whenever I travel. I've done videos on them in the past because they're easy to get on and off and they don't take up much space and I can store them away once I reach my destination. Also, packing is extremely important as a tall person. I've reviewed packing cubes on my channel before and I cannot recommend them enough. Keep in mind that most luggage is designed for the average consumer. So when your clothing as a big and tall person takes up more room than the average person, that luggage is not designed for your clothing. Packing cubes can help with that because it can compress your clothing and you can fit more in there. The list honestly goes on and on as a tall person when you're traveling, and I could talk about a lot more things that I like to do when I travel. If you'd like to hear more about my travel tips as a big and tall person, leave a comment below, and if there's enough people that are interested in learning about my tips for travel as a tall person, I'd love to do a video on it. If you've made it this far in the video, I really appreciate your time, and I hope that you will join the Freaky Tall Reviews family by subscribing to the channel and helping it grow so we can reach more big and tall people like you and me. Now for number 8, this is a big one that I think a lot of tall people struggle from, and it's simply embrace your height. Being tall comes with a lot of its own challenges, but don't make them any more difficult on yourself by not being confident in who you are. Growing up, I always felt that I stuck out unnecessarily because at 15 years old, I was 6'5". All I wanted to do was just fit in with the rest of the students, but there was no option to do that. But commanding attention is not necessarily a bad thing. I often see tall people with hunched shoulders that aren't proud of their height, and so they're kind of trying to tuck away and hide, right? Instead, keep your chin up, pull your shoulders back, and enjoy the fact that you won the genetic lottery. Also, in group settings, people often defer to the biggest person in the group as kind of a subconscious leader, and you can easily take advantage of this and be the voice of the group. There's a lot of reasons to be confident about your height, and if you hear anything otherwise, that's just coming from spite and jealousy. You are amazing for your height, and it's one of the things that you cannot earn in life, but are born with, and there's so many people in the world that wish that they were born with it too. But thank you so much for your time today. I hope you found these helpful. Also, I have links to my TikTok, Instagram, and Twitter, where I do short form content as well outside of these videos. But thank you so much for stopping by today. I really appreciate your time. Again, I'm Corey with Freaky Tall Reviews. I'll see you next time.